Airlines have dozens of rules that mystify and infuriate passengers, such as not getting refunded when bumped down from first class to coach. And if you've ever bumped up against one of these rules, you know the extraordinary effort often required to overcome them. Here with the story is WSJ's middle seat columnist, Scott McCartney. Hi, Scott. Good to see you.
Good to see you, Tanya.
So, Scott, some of these rules seem to work against consumers even when the dilemma stems from an airline's own problem, correct?
Yeah, many times that's the case.
Recently, didn't Delta anger a bunch of passengers with the way it dealt with the rebooking of all those cancellations caused by that power failure?
Yeah, I think this one was really unfair. So Delta had a meltdown on Monday, August 8th. It spilled into the next couple days. Originally, Delta said, "Well, we're waiving change fees. You get canceled, you can rebook. Now you have to pay a higher fare, and you have to do it by Friday." And that's really tough. Now Delta took a lot of heat from that. They actually extended it out 9 days, and they say, "Well, we don't want this to continue. If you can't make plans early on, get a refund and rebook." You're going to have to probably pay a higher fare either way. This was not your problem. It was Delta's problem. Why should you have to spend more money just because they messed up?
Absolutely. And it's tough to rejigger your plans at the last minute as well, especially if you're taking a vacation or something like that.
Sure.
Now, Scott, what about this one? This seems crazy to me. Not getting refunded fully for losing your first class seat?
Yeah, so airlines are selling more and more first-class seats, sometimes at discounted prices, which are really attractive to people. But then sometimes they do get bumped out of first class because air marshals show up, because equipment changes and there are fewer first-class seats. There are a lot of reasons. So you'd think it would be a pretty simple thing. You'd get a refund for whatever you probably would have paid as a coach ticket on the day you bought your ticket versus the first class price you paid. At American Airlines, a woman had to get a lawyer to get a decent refund. American's policy used to be, well, they calculated the refund and the difference off the most expensive coach ticket you could possibly buy. Nobody buys that, especially months in advance.
Oh, that's a recipe for infuriating the traveler who's already angry for getting bumped off of first class and now angry about that.
Yeah, and well, consider United's policy. They don't always tell you this. You have to go to a website, a page on their website to file for a refund. Imagine some merchant says, we can't deliver the product. Now go file a claim.
Wow.
It's a simple thing to give somebody a refund for a service they didn't get.
I can certainly imagine Congress would get involved if that got too out of hand. So, Scott, then there's the pet carry-on fee. That can be up to $300 per round trip. And it's not like your pet gets a seat, right?
No, there's really no service provided. So when you carry on your pet, has to be 20 pounds or less, has to fit under the seat, counts as one of your carry-on bags. You pay $150 each way. That actually may be more than your seat cost. and the airline provides no service and yet charges a really hefty fee. And so what's the justification? And airlines say, well, they're taking on the responsibility of transporting a live item. Well, not really, but I suppose. But they're not doing anything to help with that responsibility.
Exactly. All right. So now, what about this one? Paying extra for one of those changeable tickets that then end up not being changeable when you try to change it.
Yeah, this is kind of an interesting one. So. Different airlines are approaching this different ways. You can pay extra for more changeable privileges on a ticket. American actually makes it a separate fare class, so Choice Plus. So a traveler who was coming back from an international trip, making a connection at a U.S. hub, booked the last flight to his hometown because he might be late and it might take a long time to get through customs, but paid for the higher changeable fare. So in case everything was on time and he sailed through, he could get an earlier flight. And then he went. That happened. He went to the gate for the earlier flight. American said, "Yeah, we got seats." And click, click, click. Well, it turns out there was a provision in the supposed changeable fare that you couldn't change the number of segments on the ticket. And so he was trying to get on a nonstop instead of the connecting flight that he booked.
It's enough to make you crazy. Enough to make you crazy. Scott, thank you so much. We know you have a lot more in your column. We can check it out in the Wall Street Journal. We're running out of time. Thank you so much for that.
Sure. Take care.